President Trump is signaling a potential major reduction in tariffs on China. He posted on social media, quote, an 80% tariff on China seems right, saying it's up to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. The move comes as Bessent is set to meet with Chinese officials this weekend. Let's bring in senior White House correspondent Selena Wang for more on that. So, Selena, this also comes amid this pending trade deal with the United Kingdom. So, overall, what's the trade picture? How is that looking right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, the big thing that everybody is watching for, especially the markets, is this meeting that's coming up this weekend between U.S. and Chinese officials. And President Trump, he is signaling a shift in tone ahead of these meetings. He's posting on Truth Social a suggestion that he's willing to lower tariffs on China to 80%. Now, that is significant because just days ago, the president said he was not willing to pull back tariffs on China in order to get substantive negotiations. But look, 80% is still extremely high, though it is much lower than the current 145% tariffs on China. But even at 80%, that could still be cost prohibitive for a lot of American businesses. And this also comes as U.S. officials are making clear that these meetings this weekend are unlikely to lead to a big trade deal, but this is more about de-escalating tensions between these two countries so they can move forward when it comes to this trade negotiation process. And as you mentioned, this does come also as President Trump has announced the first trade deal since he imposed those sweeping tariffs months ago. This is a trade framework between the U.S. and the United Kingdom, but it is very light on details, and it's just a framework that primarily focuses on cars and steel. So let me just run you through what this framework includes. So the first 100,000 British cars that enter the U.S. each year will face 10% tariffs. Then that jumps to 25%. The U.S. will also eliminate 25% tariffs on U.K. steel. The U.K. will in turn open its market to U.S. exports, including beef and ethanol. Now, President Trump says the details will be worked out later, but says this sets up the countries on a path towards a wider deal. But Diane, the clock is ticking for the president to strike these trade deals. The president had previously promised 90 deals in 90 days. Well, now we don't have as much time left and really only one trade deal announced, and it is simply